Hi, Tracy here. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. Today I'm using the Hip Kit from April to create this layout. Thank you to the Hip Kit for providing this kit for me to work with this month. And so I'm just having a look at some of the embellishments that go with this kit because my layout today is going to be about my daughter cooking and her vegetarianism, and there's not a whole lot of specific embellishments to that kind of a theme, so I'm just having a look at what is there so that I might choose my photo or my colors appropriately. Now this photo has lots of red in it from those peppers. She's making vegetarian stuffed peppers, and I'm just using my Creative Memories trimmer to trim down those photos. I just fit them on a 4x6 page, so they're a little bit less than 6 inches long, so I just had to trim them off. I'm having a look at the sketches that Christine Davidson gave my Facebook group to use for our International Scrapbooking Day crop that happened a couple of weeks ago. I'm using this sketch and I actually flipped it around, which is why the words on the image there up in the top right hand corner are upside down. I'm going to position my two photos to take the place of that single photo, but what I'm using the sketch for is the basic design of the rectangles that are below the photo, and I'm going to put my title where the journaling is. So because there's red in my photo, I'm choosing the paper that has red in it, which is really only one of them. It's that really bold paper from Amy Tangerine with all those triangles. It has red and pink and like a peachy color of I guess pink, pinky peach. And that collection is called On a Whim. There's that bold paper right there. And now I'm using, this is the background paper that I'm going to use. It's this beautiful white marbled paper, and it's from the Livermore collection from Pink Fresh Studio. I'm going to show you the strips in a few minutes. I'm just using my Caterpillar crop to trim down these papers. I wanted the bold Amy Tangerine paper to be just a little bit under 6 inches, so that it's going to take up about half of the page, and then I'm kind of trimming the other ones accordingly based on the rectangles that you see up in the sketch there in the top right hand corner. And I'm changing the layering of them a little bit, and I chose, because that Amy Tangerine paper is so bold and there's so much going on in the photo as well. There's lots of clutter, and it's a kitchen photo, so it's pretty busy, and so I want my patterns that are closer to the photo to be a little bit less bold and busy. So there I am showing those strips, so that that peach colored distressed paper that looks almost like a solid is from the Maggie Holmes Bloom collection, and then that plus paper is also from the same Pink Fresh Studio collection, which was called Livermore. And I'm making that 6-inch strip of paper that I'm adhering right this second. That is spanning the whole width of the page instead of, as in the sketch, it was trimmed down to be a little bit less than 12 inches. I'm making it be 12 inches. Now it was a little tiny bit too high. I wanted it to sit a bit lower on the page, so I just pulled it off carefully and reattached it right there. I'm going to add some black stitching around this project in a couple of different places, which I'll explain as I do it. I'm using black stitching to provide lots of contrast and a little bit of boldness to, I guess, anchor and make that Amy Tangerine paper look like it belongs. I don't want one single bold element, so adding the black sewing makes everything look bold, because I'm not only going to add it to this Amy Tangerine paper, I'm also going to add it to the other layers as well. Now I want to add some washi tape here, and I want to layer it with this pink and red paper, the triangle paper by Amy Tangerine. And I just decided to add a second line of stitching, and I'm just making this line go across the top. I'm not making it span the vertical lines of this paper, just to make it look like the paper just runs right off the edge of the background paper. And so that just makes that all the more substantial. I'm basically outlining here. I'm outlining with thread, and I'm doing it just in a single line on all of the other papers, so only that Amy Tangerine paper gets a double line. So there we go. That one is outlined as well, and now I'm going to do this one. I'm going to show off a little bit here in a few minutes and show you my ninja sewing moves in just a second. So here I am. I'm going to cut the strings off of that while I was sewing the other one. And I immediately pay for that with the karma that comes back to haunt people who try to show off, because then my bobbin ran out of thread and I had to replace it with a new bobbin. I am not really great about, and then also not only did it run out, but also when I replaced it with a new bobbin, it got all tangled and I had to completely rethread the needle. So yeah, that's what I get for showing off and being all fancy schmancy. I have to rethread my whole machine. So there we go. We're all finished with that now. So I'm just going to put my little half size sewing machine away. That's a Kenmore that I use. And now I have all the sewing that I need on this page, and it just provides a little bit more texture than just outlining does. It's pretty much the same effect as outlining, but it just adds a little bit more detail. I'm going to run a strip of this washi tape, and it is thin washi, so it does kind of stick to itself and get a little bit tangled up easily when you're taking off a big long strip like this. And so I had a bit of a gap there, and I really don't want a gap. I want it to look like this washi tape is coming out from under the paper, and so I just had to take it off to fix that little tiny gap. It was so tiny you probably couldn't see it, but I saw it, so I wanted to fix it. And there we go. That again, that black and white striped washi tape that came in the hip kit, it just adds a little bit more boldness to this layout. And now I'm layering my photos on top of one another. It's okay if I cover up part of it because the same thing is in both of the pictures. One of these pictures is candid, and one of them she's posing with a little peace sign or deuces or whatever you call it. And so the photos were just not, they felt like they were kind of blending into the white that was behind them like that. And anyhow, I decided to matte the photos with the black cardstock just to give them a little bit more weight on the page and to make them not blend in so much with the background. There's quite a lot of white on this page, and there's a lot of white coming in from the window in this photo. So I just wanted to give that black matting to have a little bit more definition for my photos. And now I'm just following the sketch there. I'll move the sketch out of your way. I'll leave it up in the corner here, but it doesn't need to be quite so big now that the structure of the layout is done. Basically, I have layered my patterned papers so that they're the same as they are in the sketch. And now I'm going to leave the sketch there because I am going to place my embellishments in that visual triangle as is shown out in the sketch there. So I'll just leave it up in the top corner. I hope you can see it okay. Anyhow, I am now using the hip kit letter stickers that come in the kit. They're exclusive to the kit, and also these wonderful pink Fresh Studio stickers, letter stickers that are called Dream On. And as I spell out the word peas, it's occurring to me that these letter stickers look like the exact same font as in the word Friends on the TV show Friends. We've been watching Friends for our second time. The whole family watched it. Well, it's my third or fourth time, but we watched it as a family once through already, and then the kids started rewatching it. So I might just do a Friends layout using that font. These chipboard letter stickers are so cute with the gold dipped effect. It looks so awesome. I love them. They're from the Hip Kit Club, and you do have to just be a little bit careful as you peel the backing off of them because it's really easy to peel more than just the backing off of them, and then they're just chipboard and they're not stickers anymore. So I looked up play on words or puns about vegetarianism, and there a bunch of memes came up, and one of them said, "Give peas a chance." One of them, it had somebody saying, I tried to give peas a chance, and we know how that turned out, or something like that. But I thought that the give peas a chance was kind of a cute little phrase about vegetarianism, even though she's not really cooking peas. I think there are peas in along with the rice in the stuffed peppers, but she's also kind of doing those deuces that look like a peace sign. So I thought that it was kind of appropriate. Now, give peas a chance there. My title is going to get lost. I just need a home on which to anchor my title right here. And so I'm looking through my tags. I have a little drawer where I keep all of my little tags and tag-like things. And so this pink tag is, I wasn't in love with it, but it seems to be the best of all of my options here. Thought for a second there about switching it on to white, and then I thought maybe I could paint it gray. I would have really liked a gray tag here because there's so much pink and orange and red, not pink and orange, but there's lots of pink and red already on this layout that I didn't really want to have my tag be pink, but pink does give nice contrast with the blue in the letters, stickers, and so I think I'm going to go with the pink. I'm just looking at all of my options here. I also want to put chance on something, so that's why I'm still looking, even though I've found my pink tag for my title. I'm still looking for something to put under the word chance, and so I think that these are by, what is that company called? Gossamer Blue. They're letters. They're not letter stickers. They are label stickers from Gossamer Blue. And so I have a drawer that's all filled with labels and kind of journaling tags, stickers, and that sort of thing. And so I pulled out a bunch of labels. Many of these are from October Afternoon, who used to make lots of labels back in the day to go with each of their collections. So many of these are October Afternoon. I think all of them that I'm looking at here are just different old October Afternoon. I think this is crepe paper, and this is crepe paper as well. And they're just old. I don't remember which collection they're from, but I thought about maybe putting the word peas on the pink tag, but I'm going to go back to the October Afternoon label here. I like the roundness that it adds. That pink ticket sticker from crepe paper was just, I don't know, it was too boxy. It's already on a squarish looking tag, and I'm also going to be putting chance on a pretty rectangular boxy looking sticker here. So I thought that the contrast that I got from the October Afternoon roundish label was a little bit better. So I'm putting peas and chance on these labels, and of course, chance is off-centered, but when I take it off of the wax paper and put it onto the label, I'll shift it all over. So here's the structure of the page. It's pretty much what I want it to be. I went into my stash and looked at these chipboard labels from Dear Lizzie. These are very, very old. They came in two different color schemes. One was a neutral and one was colorful, and I'm going to use the colorful yellow kind of banner thing here. And I'm going to use my chance with the label to cover up the phrase that comes on that. I thought about adding something behind peas as well, but it's going to be too busy. I'm not going to like it at all. I kept it out just in case, but I don't like it right away. I do like it on the word chance. It just gives chance a little, it pops it up off of the tag and makes it look a little bit more like it belongs there instead of just, I don't know, it just looked a little weird or awkward. The fact that the letters in chance were so much bigger than the sticker that they were mounted upon, I just wanted something a little bit more substantial there. So I like the yellow chipboard banner for that. So this is how it's going to look. And now I just have to do some final kind of touches and details and that sort of thing. So I'm taking my Vicky Bouton art crayons. I'm going to take this darkest of pink, and now I'm just looking for a water brush, and all my water brushes are empty except this one, which is perfect because it's a wide one and it's actually a nice width. I'm just going to get lots of pigment on there, and I like that it looks like I just swiped. Well, it looks like I did what I did. So it's understandable that it looks like that because I just swiped a stripe of color down the center of that, and that just makes the peas look it's just another detail, and it makes it look integrated. There's so many pinks in the rest of the page. It brings some pink into that peas embellishment. And now, these letters, I'm going to move all these letters over, and when I do, I peel off the adhesive backing off of them, so I have to glue each of these letters back down as I shift them over. So these letters are not very forgiving as far as being able to shift them around once they're down. The adhesive is so strong on them that it keeps them in place really nicely, which is different than thickers, right? A lot of times we complain that those thickers, they just peel off so easily. These letter stickers definitely don't peel off very easily, but the price of that is that if you want to shift them around a little bit, you'll probably peel the adhesive right off the back of it. But the good news is that we're all scrapbookers and we've got glue on hand, so let's just glue them down. I put that label and the word chance a little bit off center. It's not completely centered. I just wanted it to look a little bit more interesting than a totally centered look would give me. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes when I put that down. So here I am unusually centering my layout title. I don't usually center a title. I usually like it to be either left justified or right justified. But in this case, I just wanted it to be, I guess it just kind of worked a little bit better. And so now I'm going to outline this because so many other elements on this page are outlined. It felt like the tag was looking a little bit unfinished relative to everything else. I don't think it would have necessarily looked unfinished in another kind of a setting, but just with this page. I'm also going to outline this yellow banner. And on this, because it's a shiny surface, it's a slick surface chipboard sticker, I'm using my Staedtler Lumo color pen. And I'm just using a piece of black Stampin' Up! Twine. It's so soft and cottony. I love that twine. And then I'm just going to put chance down. I'm going to stick that so that it's tucked in under the photo. And I have a bit of an awkward bunch of corners here happening around the tail of that banner, but I'm going to leave it. I think it's okay. It's all right. It's not awesome, but it's okay. And so because that title is all centered, I really didn't want the word chance to be centered on the banner. I just wanted something a little bit more interesting than that. So I hope I zoom out or move this down soon. But what I'm doing is I'm placing some anchors for my embellishments. Now, I recently talked on my Patreon chat, which was for my Patreon members, about anchoring. So they had some questions because I had used the word anchoring in a couple of different places. And so I talked in quite a bit of detail in that chat about how anchoring is basically what my word for kind of like building a home for something underneath of it. So something to make it fit or belong. Sometimes I use anchoring to weight something that looks like it's kind of floating off, or other times I just use it as a little home for my embellishments. So those where I cut the chipboard frames and created two embellishments from one, those frames and then those chipboard flowers are both going to serve as anchors for me to cluster a couple of embellishments. So I put the flare badges that came in the Project Life kit from the hip kit. One has a pineapple and one says "Live Happy." And the pineapple kind of it's a fruit, so it fits with with the vegetarian theme, and it's kind of food related. Now this chipboard sticker is from the set of stickers that came in the kit. I forget what it's by. I can't remember the company. But it is Thickers and it is called Good Life. I just can't remember the collection. So now these puffy gold word stickers also came in the kit. They're from the Oasis collection from Crepe Paper, and I'm just using the hearts. I'm putting one in each of my 3 clusters. One of my clusters, you'll notice, doesn't have an anchor. It's my secondary cluster. And you'll notice up in the sketch that there's one cluster of embellishments that's much smaller than the others. And so I'm not putting an anchor there. I'm just tucking some chipboard flowers and some of the hearts around there. Whereas the 2 large embellishment clusters get anchored by the layers that are sticking out of the other layers. So that would be the chipboard frame and the chipboard kind of, I guess, cluster of flowers. So I'm really liking how this looks. I'm going to put I'm just going to attach these flare badges with a bit of ATG. And then I'm going to outline this frame in both of the places in which it shows up, just to give it a little bit, make it a little bit more substantial and give it a bit more weight. There we go. I really like how you can see the marbled paper peeking through that top frame. I like that. And so I'm thinking about doing my journaling right here. I'm using my Sharpie pen, and the difference between a Sharpie pen and a Sharpie marker is that Sharpie markers are permanent markers that are good for using on a slick surface, whereas the Sharpie pen is not for slick surface. And so therefore, now when you use a Sharpie marker on a porous surface, it really sinks in and bleeds a lot, whereas the Sharpie pen, it's just as bold and dark black as a Sharpie marker would be, but it doesn't bleed out as much and spread and become a thick line as much as a Sharpie marker would. So I like to use my Sharpie pen on porous surfaces and my Sharpie marker on slick surfaces, although I usually use my Lumocolor, my Stettler Lumo pen on the slick surfaces. And that's just my own personal preference. The Sharpie pen markers work great on slick surfaces too. So the journaling says Liv takes vegetarianism very seriously. She makes sure she gets enough protein and even cooks some veggie dishes like these yummy stuffed red peppers. We call her our food renegade. And so our family is not vegetarian, but Liv made the decision to become a vegetarian a couple of months ago, maybe February, maybe January-ish. She had been wanting to be a vegetarian for a while, but we weren't really prepared to allow her to do that until she was old enough and responsible enough to take care of her body and make sure that she was getting what she needed. And so we decided to support her on a trial basis and make sure that she is, in fact, getting everything that she needs. I actually enjoy eating vegetarian, and so at different times of my life, I've been sort of, we call it a flexitarian, kind of like mostly vegetarian, but making some exceptions. So, I already had cookbooks and had a bit of a sense of how to do it. So we decided to give it a go, and it's working really well. My other daughter is what we call a flexitarian. She's mostly vegetarian, but she will eat bacon and steak and some of her favorite meats sometimes. We also have a teenage boy in the house, and my husband really enjoys eating meat, so I don't think we'll ever be a meat-free family, but there's how it looks. So I'll show you some close-ups, and then I am going to just do one more thing to this before it's done. Here's the title on that tag with the little banner below. I really like how this one how this one turned out, I guess. Now, as I'm looking at it though, I just can't help but think that the title really lacks readability, especially the word chance with between the dipped letter and then the fact that there's so many things kind of layered around it. It felt like the word chance was just kind of getting lost and looking like things were a little busy there. So what I've decided to do is outline around the outside edges of these letter stickers. Now, sometimes I will outline on top of the letter sticker, and sometimes I will outline outside of the letter sticker. And I guess it just kind of depends on what kind of a look I'm going for. Outlining on top of a letter sticker is a little bit trickier to do and have it still look good. It's nice if you don't mind a really casual, kind of sketchy, shaky look to your letters, but I wanted these to still have their nice, formal, bold, I guess blocky kind of look to them. And so I didn't want to take away from that. So that's why I outlined on the outside. And I'm just using my Stettler Lumocolor pen to outline on all of the parts of those letters that overhung onto the shiny chipboard, because it's shiny and it needs a slick surface writer in order to outline those parts. Now I'm going to add a tiny bit of washi tape in 3 different places. One is right here under the word chance. And I'm also going to put some up in this cluster that you can't see, but you'll see it in a second when I show the close-ups, and a little bit right here. And that was really just to add a little something to each of those. It just felt like each of the clusters needed a little bit more. So here it is again close up, and you can see that little bit of extra washi tape there. It just gives it a little something bold up there in the corner. And then those wood veneer hearts, I don't think I mentioned putting those on. They came in the Project Life kit from the Hip kit from April, and they're really cute little hearts. They're different they're different shapes and they're imperfect hearts, which I really like. And then those maybe they're teacups or maybe they're bowls all stacked up. I'm using them as bowls, kind of like that mise en place approach to cooking where you put everything in bowls ahead of time. And that's how we usually do our cooking. So I think that you can see one of the bowls right there behind the cheese that she had used to hold some of the ingredients from the recipe. So here are the close-ups. I hope that you enjoyed this one. It feels so good to scrapbook again, you guys. This has been really, really great. I can't wait to do it again. Take care and have a really great scrappy week.
I sit on the side, 'cause that's the side I'm sitting. I never run, I just start.